Welcome back to the Making Fire podcast, the podcast where two longtime besties talk about their favorite TV show, Survivor.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This week on the Making Fire podcast, we will be discussing the penultimate episode of the season.
Okay, Miss Megan Lacey, yes!
But before we jump into it, Riley, how are you? The world is dying to know.
There's a lot going on. I'm in my final season, deep in. I have one more final left, due tomorrow, 2 p.m. exactly. And it's gonna be good, it's gonna be great. I'm in the process of finishing it up. But it's like just sad. Like final season coming to the end, you're living through the nostalgia. Oh my gosh, I'm going into my last season of college. It's crazy, it's been 4 years. The last season of The Crown is out, which is so devastating. Wait.
You know, it's today. I haven't.
I think it is today. I haven't watched it yet. I'm watching it with
busy this weekend.
Real. But the positive in my life right now is I have recently discovered Fortnite. And I have to say, I don't know why we were shitting on those middle school boys. It's a fun game. And I love it. I've been playing it a lot.
Maybe that'll have to be one of our in between seasons episodes, is Maddie and Riley play Fortnite for an hour.
No, because the way that I would eat that up, I've been getting really good. I'm still learning. I have friends that play it, and they got me into it. They're like, you should play with us. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to do well. I don't know what I'm doing. And I've become addicted to it. So
my siblings play Fortnite, so I do hear about it
real.
Sometimes.
We should all play together.
Okay.
I'll come over while you're home.
Okay.
Maddie, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. I have two things to talk about this week. Number one, more lore on where I live. I'll give a region, the Midwest. It's relevant because I had my work potluck holiday party today, and the food brought there was amazing. I'm going to make a bold statement. I had one of the best mac and cheeses of my life. And that's coming. Whoa. I love mac and cheese.
This is coming from a woman who lives and breathes mac and cheese.
Yes. It was so good. The desserts were so good. Everything was amazing. So, shout out. It was so fun. I definitely did not do my part. I brought Capri Suns, which people were so excited about. All of them are gone. Yeah, people are like, oh my god, I love Capri Suns. Oh my god.
I do love a good Capri Sun too. It's like a refreshing drink.
Me too. They were the most popular beverage, so I was pretty proud of that. Number two, very exciting times. We have reached the 12 days of Christmas countdown. And
already?
Yes. So my mother-in-law got, probably for both of us, but I'm the only one using it, a 12 Days of Christmas jam advent calendar.
That's sickening.
The Bon Maman advent calendar. I've been seeing it all over TikTok because some people have the 24 Days of Christmas one, which is like way too much jam. I'm on day 2. And
they're like the little ones, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is the most fun thing. Every morning I get a new flavor for my toast.
That's so exciting. I'm actually very jealous.
Yeah, so yesterday was the first day, and it was a apricot banana, which doesn't sound good, but it was so good. Today was orange guava lime.
Ooh.
They're not all fruity either. I accidentally peeked at the back of the box and I saw that there's like a caramel cinnamon one.
Ooh.
It is so much fun. So, shout out. I have a reason to get up in the morning now.
Yeah. Let's talk about that after the podcast. We'll come back to that comment you just made.
Okay.
Just do a little check-in.
Okay. Should we jump in?
I'd like to say before we jump in that in this time of mourning, I think it's best that We celebrate the fact that what was I gonna say? A game has come to an end, but you know what? It's a good thing that this game came to the end. Um, and I don't know what I was gonna say. I had something. I was gonna make a funny joke, but I don't know where the joke was going. I'm just happy. I'm happy. Before we get into it, I guess at the end of the day, I should just say that I am happy.
You're happy that Drew went home.
Yeah, I think it's something to celebrate.
Okay. That's
Oh,
fine. Well, I was confused when you said we're in a period of mourning. I was like, who died?
because he did die in the game because
Okay.
he's no longer in the game. But it's okay that he died,
That's kind
and
of
I'm
sad
happy
though.
about it
Like we're
that he
talking about
died.
a death in the game every single week. We're always in a period of mourning when you put it that way.
I guess.
Okay. Um okay. We're just going to start now.
Start over. Start over. Start over.
So we open coming back from tribal and it's pretty quiet and awkward. Julie's like pretty smug about it, obviously. But everyone's like, wow, that's crazy. And I think it was Jake who asked Julie where she got the idol, and she's like, that's a long story. And then Austin explains that he has to play his amulet at the next tribal, and yeah, then we just kind of get into them talking. Did you have something to say?
Um, I'm so I could feel Julie's giddiness through the TV. I don't know necessarily that response is a good thing, but I was happy that she was happy. I'm happy that she felt content with her decision, her choices.
Yeah, I thought she was a little too happy, to be honest,
Yeah,
because you would think that someone who like
is was
everyone
blindsided.
turned on her close
Yeah.
alliance, like obviously they don't know about D, but like I would have downplayed that a little if I were her.
Yeah, I was happy she was happy, but also I'm like reflecting on it. You probably should have been a little chiller. But hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So then D lies to Austin. D and Austin are talking and about what happened. And D says, I swear on my mother that I didn't tell Julie about the plan. Austin, you're so dumb.
I'm so sorry, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot about her. This was D's episode. I haven't been
Yeah.
like a D hater. Like I haven't. Yeah, I haven't been a D hater, but I think a lot of the time this season, when we've talked about D, it's just been a lot of like, where has she been? We've seen her pop up here and there, but we haven't gotten like really in depth stuff. This is a great episode for her, and I love that girl. Homegirl does not care anything about morals. She said,
No.
"Babe, this is fake. We are in a fake game right now. We are on a fake island.
Yeah. A fake island. Fiji
It's
is
a
not real. Survivor made Fiji.
man-made islands." Ugh.
So then she kind of talks about how she's pulling out all of her acting skills to play dumb about the whole thing, which is working on most people. Drew is more suspicious of her, though, which I understand. I don't think she's a great actress, but you never know.
Drew was mad.
Drew was mad.
Pissed. Drew was pissed off this episode, but that scene where Julie like runs up to them and
That
like
was my
group
next.
hugs them. Oh, Drew was mad.
Yeah, so then D Austin and Drew are all sitting on the beach talking, and then yeah, Julie just comes up and kind of throws herself on them and is like, Reva 4 is strong, we're still all here, yay. But then she says in the confessional that she doesn't actually believe that and this is all Drew's fault.
It is. At the end of the day, it is all Drew's fault. Because what the fuck are they doing?
Okay, but I feel like he knew that he needed to make moves. And I feel like it's obvious to him that Julie needed to go for his game to look better.
Yeah, but also I'm like, have you not? I feel like he has been making moves. Like I feel like he could put his name on some things that have happened.
But
Um,
I feel like people are just gonna be mad at him. I don't feel like they're
I feel
positive mostly.
yeah, no, I agree. I feel like you're right. Like it would have been if it had worked, I think it would have been a good move.
It's
But
one you go.
I was gonna say I don't think he can. I don't think he ever had considered the repercussions if she had stayed. I think he was so dead set on like he was like she's going home. Like it's just she's going home that he didn't. And I think that one is one of Drew's major flaws is he just thinks that his plan is the plan. Um, and so not considering what could have happened if Julie had stayed, I think was a a bad part of that plan.
I agree. I think there's a difference between successfully pulling off big moves like that are bold and like are definitely going to upset people. But if you succeed in it, it's one thing to go against your alliance and hurt your relationships, and to fail at it is bad.
Is bad.
But at least he tried. You know, the Reba 4 just like spent the whole game together and like not, which like is fine, I guess. But like, I'm glad it made things interesting instead of just like them steamrolling everyone, you know?
Yeah,
And I'm glad it was at his expense.
I agree. If one of the Rebas could have failed, I'm glad it was Drew that failed.
Yeah. So then,
If you ever want to come on this podcast, we have nothing but nice things to say about you.
yeah, definitely. So then we cut to the intro that plays. Love it. And then afterwards, we hear from Katura, and she's talking about how historically, after an idol is played, a new one is planted again. So she goes looking for it. And then shortly after, Dee and Austin wake up and are like, "Where's Katura? She's definitely looking for an idol. Let's follow her." And so they start looking through the trees, and then Austin sneaks up on her and is like, "We can't just let Julie start looking because then we're back to square one. So like we have to find it." um and then we hear from Julie, and she's talking about how it's time to think about who you want to take to the end, which is true.
Julie has some great confessionals. Julie's a really good confessional presence, I feel like. I really love her as a character. I'm just thinking of the scene when she wakes up for like she like is lying flat and then she just goes and she sits up and she's like and then it cuts to her being like, I did not sleep last night. She just knew. She like rolls her neck and she's like, I got stuff to do. I think she's so Julie going berserk is great for me. I think it's so silly. Um yeah, I thought the idol Couture is so funny too. Couture looking for the idol also popping up and her being like, "Oh my god. Where did you come from? Girl."
She's so funny. I really like her as well. So then Julie goes to talk to Drew and is like, "I'm still Reba strong, but our relationship is hurt." And Drew's like, "We gotta get Jake out and stay Reba strong." And both of them are fully lying to each other. They both have confessionals after that acknowledge that, which is really fun.
It is fun.
Then, so I think this is at the part where Julie's like, "Dee, we need to talk. Let's go. Can I have a minute?" And Dee gets up and it's like, so stone cold face. And then we hear from her and she's like, "It is so hard to pretend to be mad at each other." And this made me think, I think if you and I were in this position where we had to fake be mad at each other, we would not be able to do it.
No, because this is part of our relationship. We've tried to do this is part of like the bits that we do. We try to be mad at each other and then we never end up mad at each other.
No. Yeah, that is one thing. We are always doing bits, especially in person, and sometimes the people around us just don't get it. Or like
They just don't vibe
we're
with
so
it.
mean to each other, but it's like not real.
I think that's something I value in friendship so much. Not to 180 real quick, but I think doing bits with people is so silly and so fun. When Kellen and I recently were I work in student government for my school, and I had to volunteer to drive vans for a particular event. And Kellen, my friend, my roommate, previously mentioned, were driving the vans, and we had two just random students in the back of the van as we were driving, and then we started fighting because I said that I personally knew the up and coming singer songwriter Pink Panther. Are you familiar with her work?
Yes.
And I was, because Kellen loves her, and I was acting like I personally knew her, and then Kellen was like, "Well, why haven't you ever introduced us?" And then we started play fighting, and then I low key forgot we had people in the car, and so they got quiet as we were fighting, and they were just listening to us, and I was like, "Oh." Anyway, I think bits are so funny, and I agree. I don't think you and I would be able to like do something fake like that.
Not to be sidetracked again, but Riley and I took one class together while we were in college, and it was just constant. No one else in the class was funny, right? Like everyone was so dead serious all the time for no reason. It was not. It was an like activity class. We were on a like journal, and Riley and I would be so funny. We would think we were so funny and like just call each other out like out loud and like try and make the other as uncomfortable as possible. And so, like 99% of the time, dead air.
Nobody would respond. Nobody would giggle. Nobody would move a muscle.
Yeah.
I had to actively be. We had a bit in that class one time. I had to actively be like, I was just making a joke.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
Because people thought I was being serious, and then and then people started getting upset with other people in the class, and I was like, "No, guys, I just said that as a joke. Like I was being silly. I didn't mean for it to get here."
Yeah, so then we started doing our bits. Do you remember how we would just type them on our computer and be like, we point, and then like try not to laugh? It was so hard. Yeah. I missed that. That was so fun. Anyways. Um, so Julie tells Dee that she wants to get Drew out, and Dee tells her that Drew is the mastermind behind the Julie vote.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where we leave
She saved
them.
Austin's butt a little bit because it sounds like Julie for a little bit was like, we need to get Austin out, and Dee was like, Austin was not the one that came up with that. It was Drew, and Austin was just playing into it. So
Yeah.
Dee at this point was still protecting her homeboy.
Yeah.
At this point.
So next we go to the reward challenge. So they have to. I thought this was kind of an interesting one. I liked it. So they have to get from this platform on the really choppy water that day. They have to get there from the water to a barrel on the beach that they turn onto its side, and they have to kind of stand/walk on it as they pull themselves along by these hanging ropes to grab 3 keys. And if they fall off the barrel, they have to start over. And after they make it through and get the 3 keys, they unlock the pieces to do a slide puzzle. Very interesting. And the reward is a picnic on a sand spit in the ocean that they get to by helicopter. That is so fun.
It is fun, but it's the thing that I was so confused about is Jeff kept making. I guess it is once in a lifetime, but Jeff was like, Austin, have you ever been to a sand spit? What is it called?
A sand spit, yeah.
He was like, have you ever been to a sand spit? And Austin was like, no.
Yeah, I think the helicopter ride was cool, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't think the sand spit part was cool.
Sand spit and also the food.
Beating sun.
Mm-hmm.
The only shade was the helicopter. And being respectful, the view was the exact same as it was from the beach.
I think this is where they did you watch Winners at War?
Yeah.
You better be ready. They're coming for you. I think that's where they did the opening challenge for the Winners at War, when they like had the boats and they got on the beach.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? Oh, it did not look like fun. The helicopter,
No.
I think you're right. The helicopter was definitely the best part. The food, it was like a charcuterie board type food.
Yeah.
But then my mom, I was watching with my family, and my mom was like, "That cheese has been sitting in the hot sun."
It
Uh,
looked not
Instantly,
good.
I would have threw up. That if somebody said that, I would have been like, "You guys can have the reward. That's not for me."
So back to the challenge. I just have to note, Jake is so silly. Clearly, the keys have scrunchies on the end to put around your wrist, but every time they cut to him, he had it in his mouth. Like that.
He gets better grip
Why?
with his teeth.
No, it goes on your wrist. So he's just such a funny guy. But Austin is in the lead pretty much the whole challenge. Ends up winning, chooses D and Katura. Drew gets all emo because he says that he was always the last in school, the schoolyard pick in middle school, and the only reward he's got to go on has been the one that he won.
I would have, if I was Drew, I would have taken a page out of Emily's notebook and realized nobody likes me. I should probably 180 my game. Because it is telling if nobody is picking you, not even your closest allies, babe, nobody likes you. You're not likable.
I think I think yes, outside of this challenge. I understand why he was not picked this time.
I do too, yeah, but
So also like don't be upset about it.
exactly.
Yeah. No, you're right. Austin says he picked Katur and D because Julie needs to be babysat and Drew would be the best option for that, and also Jake kind of needs to as well. I don't
If
know.
I was a grown woman and somebody 20 years younger than me told me I needed to be babysat, yeah, I would have spit on you.
Is that allowed?
It will be in my book.
So the losers get back to camp, and Julie and Jake are like, I don't want to be babysat. Let's tell Drew that we're gonna go look for peppers in the trees.
I have never, in the X amount of years they've been in Fiji, ever heard anybody looking for a pepper.
Are they real peppers? I've
I
never
don't
even seen them
know.
eat them.
There must be like a fruit that they call a pepper or something. I don't know.
I don't know. But instead of looking for peppers, they look for the idol. So then we see the winner group and they're in the helicopter and they do like a flyby of camp
That was
on the
so
beach.
shady. That was shady.
And if I were on the beach and I saw them above like that, I would fully be giving them the bird.
No, I would too. That was so fucked up. That was so fucked up.
Drew wanted to cry.
Real.
And then Katura, so they're in the helicopter, and Katura notices that Austin and Dee are holding hands in the helicopter, and she's like, haha, I'm third wheeling them. Get a room. And then
Why would they hold their hands so close? I feel like the Reba 4 does not do a great job hiding their dynamics. I think Julie and Dee this episode being like, nobody knows how close we are. It's the final six. I'm sure they all, because what? Nobody being Katora and Jake? You're telling me that Drew and Austin don't know how close you two are?
and Katura obviously wasn't shocked by this.
Yeah.
She definitely knew.
They're not, Drew said this earlier in the episode, none of them are great actors.
No, not at all. So then we get to the picnic and we hear more about Austin and Dee crushing on each other. I don't really care.
Their funky ass breath.
Yeah.
Crushing on each other, funky ass breath.
Then back at camp again, and Jake says he's stuck at camp with his top two targets. Why is Jake your target? That makes no sense.
Drew said that or Jake
Oh, sorry,
said that?
Jake said that. Jake said
Jake
he's
said
back
that.
at camp with his top two targets.
What?
Wait, you're broken up. Okay, you're back. Yeah.
That was my response too, because I was genuinely confused. I was like, Jake, why do you have Julie listed as one of your top two targets? I would want to work with Julie if I were you.
Yeah. Julie's obviously on the outs with at least most of her alliance.
A single mom who works 2 jobs.
So he says he needs to find the idol now. And I'm like, is he gonna start making moves now? He's been saying that for most of the season.
6 episodes. Every episode, it's a scene from Jake saying, "This is the night I make my move."
Yeah. So then he looks and he finds a clue for the idol. And it says the idol is in a secret compartment of the tribe's bamboo raft. So then he goes down to the raft and he takes his pants off and starts talking about how he likes searching for the idol in his underwear. And he did a play in college in his underwear. Thank you for that information. He just really be talking all the time.
He does. He's just like a silly. He's just a silly boy.
He does.
He's just a silly boy who talks.
And then he finds the idol. And
Gag.
he calls himself a wolf in goat's clothing. I want his confidence. But
He's so he stuck it down his pants, and my first thing was like, Jeff, do not touch that idol.
I think it's
also he stripped down to his underwear and he left his socks on.
he's confused. I think it's really funny that he's the one that ended up with the idol, because if the Reba 3 now votes Jake out, they've done something wrong. I feel, unless they're like, oh, I want to go to the end with people who like deserve it, because that is a thing that comes up sometimes. But like, there's no reason to vote Jake out at all.
Ever, yeah. I don't know, like, what he'll do. Like, it's cool that just because you have an idol doesn't mean you, like...
have done anything.
Yeah, it's like, how is he going to use it that benefits him? Or benefits his game, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
I hope he does something fun with it. So next, we go to the immunity challenge. And it's pretty simple. They have to balance a ball on a plank by keeping the plank up with the pressure from their foot on the plank on the back.
I was a little confused. Specifically with how Couture got out. I was like, how did the ball roll backwards? And then I was like, oh, because there was no barrier there? So then I was like, why didn't Couture... Because there was no, like, it was just sitting on top... oh, fuck. It was just sitting... Oh, my God. It was... Okay. Can you hear me? It was like this, and there was no back. So the ball was sitting on top of it like this. Mm-hmm. And so Couture had tipped too far up, and the ball, like, rolled back. Yeah. But I was like, that doesn't make any sense. If that was the case... Why didn't she just roll the ball to the front where everybody else's ball was? Because then it was at least, like... enclosed.
Yeah.
Jeff was like, Couture hasn't moved at all. And then that ended up like fucking her up. Like, she should have moved. She should have put the ball in the front with everybody, right?
Yeah. I understand why there wasn't a barrier on the backside, so it could do that, because it made it, I think, harder.
Yes, yeah.
But I don't really know what her strategy was. I don't know if she had one.
I also thought Julie was going to eat this challenge up.
Yeah.
She's been good in endurance challenges.
I know. I was surprised with how fast she went out.
I thought that's what the storyline was going to be this episode, that Julie was going to get immunity, and then Jake was going to play his idol on himself, and then they were going to like vote somebody out. But
yeah. Well,
Julie flopped.
Julie flopped hard. So did Jake. Couture also went out pretty early, and then Drew fights hard, but he was really fighting for his life.
He was. That was crazy.
But he drops the ball, and then it turns into a standoff between Dee and Austin, and ultimately Dee wins her... Was that her second immunity? At least second.
I think it's her second. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's her second.
So then they go back to camp, and Drew tells the group, we gotta vote Julie. But Jake is like, no... Sorry, I have the hiccups. I want to do my own thing. And tells Julie to blindside Drew. Big moves. So then he tells Katura the plan and says he wants to pull a tie vote and vote Drew out.
Hey, Jake, baby girl, be so fucking for real. Are you dumb?
I think we know the answer. At least in terms of Survivor.
Yeah, because Mr. Lawyer, Mr. Big Lawyer, um, you this plan failed terribly last time. Not only did it fail terribly last time, just in general, it failed because of Katora.
Mm-hmm.
Katora said, "This isn't gonna work for me, baby boy. I'm not going to a tie," and then flipped.
Yeah.
Why would you yet again think that this plan would work? And then he was like, Katora, don't tell. Okay, best scene of the episode. Katora says, or Jake says, we don't need D. Don't tell D. Cut. Katora and D going, okay, who are you going to vote on the count of three? 1, 2, 3. Drew. So funny. So good.
The editing there was so good.
There's been some really... I just want to say, most of the great moments, editing moments this season, have included Katora.
That's true.
Winner edit, I'm just saying.
But she was not in the boys' camp night.
Oh, I have actively, suppressed that limit. I've tried to forget that.
Okay.
Yeah. That doesn't count. That's not... Yeah.
Okay. So, then Drew tells D to vote Julie. You dumb boy. And says maybe Austin would play his amulet on Drew, on him. Which is crazy, because on that, I thought that there was going to be a conversation about that. Maybe there was and they didn't show it, but I thought that was going to be more of a point this episode than it was.
I also I agree. I thought there was going to be a lot of trying to vie for Austin's amulet, especially if he had one immunity. How is he going to use it? Is he going to use it? Mm-hmm. I thought it would have been an interesting conversation to have.
Yeah, definitely. So then D is super torn about telling Austin about the plan to vote Drew out or not, which really just shows where her alliances are, which is fine. I mean, it's her game, but Austin is dumb for telling her the last time, because obviously it doesn't go both ways.
I said this about Austin last episode. I think the editing about Austin, I was like, I really loved this sequence. And did I love it even more with D? I think the relationship is so complex. And what am I trying to say? Yeah, I guess it is. I have been thinking about how well this showmance has been edited in relation to the story of the season. Because I think in last week we talked about how Franny and Matt, it kind of was just their whole storyline. But we didn't really get this D and Austin showmance until it was relevant to what was happening in this season. Mm-hmm. And I think I kind of like it a little bit more like that, because it shows both. We had gotten to know both of them as individuals before we were oh, they're a couple, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I really like the complexity, and I'm just so sorry. D is so smart, and I think it is just so juicy. Perfect reality TV. Her being he did this exact same thing for me, and I don't know if it's not good for me to do it for him. Why would I throw my game away for him?
Yeah. Do you think... So obviously, well, D does not tell Austin. Do you think it's better for her to take Julie to the end over Austin? I mean, maybe they'll all three go, but I feel like she has a way better case without Julie in the game.
Say all three go. All three go. I honestly, it depends on how well Dee can talk. If Dee can't talk, then she's kind of screwed. Julie is a lawyer or an attorney. So Julie's gonna at least be able to put some sort of case together for herself. I just have a feeling that Austin is not gonna be able to do that. So I feel like just between Austin and Julie, it would probably make more sense to go against Austin, especially because now she has shown that she's defiant in their relationship. Like she wasn't just stuck to him. Like she was actively making moves that bettered herself for him. So I think it would be better for her to get to the end with him. But she knows that Julie trusts her 100%. Um, and so it might be better to have that sort of number going into the final five, if that makes sense. But I feel like for either of them, Dee has a pretty good argument in showing that she had a pretty good standing. Like both Julie and Austin have come to Dee in separate occasions, and asked her to be a sort of number for them. So I
Mm-hmm.
think Dee has a good could have a good story of being like the pinpoint for the Reba people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I feel like if I were her, I would be wanting everyone to do everything in their power to get Julie out. I would be like, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Do what you got to do. Because then she
yeah,
is being honest to Julie in the end if Julie's on the jury and can say, I did not know they were going to vote you out. That's not what they told me. I had no part
yeah.
in this. And then she's a vote for D. I just
I
I
know.
I don't I wish D would like maybe make that clear with Austin because I feel like if she told Austin that he would get it. He would be like, "Okay, I won't include you in this, but we're going to do that." You know? And then like she could
Yeah,
pretend to work with Austin with Julie to and whoever else, you know?
mm-hmm.
I feel like they could work it out where I just think Julie needs to be out for her. Obviously, I want Julie to do well.
I feel like Dee has had such like I don't think it's like definitely not like a unanimous Julie win. If G oh my god, Julie, D, and Austin get to the end, I don't think
Mm-hmm.
it's like a unanimous situation. I actually think Julie will have to put in some work. I feel like in any scenario, D is gonna have a better standing.
Okay.
I think I in my opinion, I think that
What was that attitude? I saw you
uh,
glare.
I just think I just think me halfway down. I just think that
You're Brittany Broski. Start screaming.
I just think that Dee has better relationships with people on the jury. She's People have left happier with her than maybe a Julie. Julie also seems sporadic and a tad lying is a tad untruthful. That's what I want to say.
She's a
Uh,
liar.
she's a liar, and that's why Derek don't like you. Oh my God, have you started Drag Race season 7?
No, I've been busy.
Maybe when you come to back home, we can watch a little bit of it
Yeah.
together. Um, I feel like Julie is seen. Sorry, let me finish my fucking thought. Julie, oh my God, D is no. I hate their names. Why do they have names? Julie is seen as a little
Blondie.
bit of a what?
Blondie.
Blondie. Julie is seen as a little bit more untruthful. People aren't very happy with her. Her game is seen as sporadic and of like survival, where I feel like D does not necessarily have the narrative of having to needed to survive. Like she's always had sort of like a grip on the game. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what she had that's the leg up that she has on Julie. D
Yeah.
has D doesn't D never was at the bottom. She was always sort of controlling what was going on.
Yeah. I just had a thought pop into my head. If we were to give
What?
the Reba for all nicknames that aren't their names, they would be, and you would know who each of them were. Blondie, feet, tank top, and tall.
Pete sent me. That was crazy. Tank top is crazy too. Okay, can we talk about Austin at Tribal? No, yeah, Austin at Tribals. Why does he always have his buff tied like that?
I know.
It's always. I'm like, this is so strange. You're giving like you're giving a fortune teller.
Yes.
Anyway, that's my thought. I think D. I think D. Whoever she goes with, I would argue that D has the best of the final five. Has the She's my top contender to win.
Okay. Yeah. I agree.
Okay.
I would like that. Also, it's been even almost the whole time with our draft. Drew just went out for me.
Yeah, so if it's a 3-2, so I have Jake and Austin and Katura, and you have D and Julie.
Yeah.
That's a pretty even.
It was even last episode. Like, I had Drew.
It's been back and forth. I think like the most we were separated is that like I think the first two people eliminated were on your. No, because it went Hannah, and Hannah was on yours, and then I had Brandon, so I went hand in Brandon. I think it's been
like,
back and forth.
It was like when didn't Sabaya and Sean?
Yeah.
Were they back to back?
Yeah, I think they went back to back, and then I had to go back to back.
Yeah.
So it's been the whole season. It's been back and forth,
which is kind of crazy.
It is kind of crazy.
So, we'll see.
Anyways,
your winner pick's still in.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, I'm glad she's still in the game. I really like her. I think her downfall was Bruce. Having Bruce on her tribe, just in the show in general.
Katura?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Katura's been getting a good, like, oh, fuck. I don't know what I'm holding my mic. I think this end game has been post Bruce has been kind of, she's been getting good editing. I'll say that.
Yeah, but like, what other editing would she get? I wouldn't say she's been doing anything. In my opinion, she's been a good presence.
How do I log off of this call?
Okay, moving on. So next up is Tribal Council, which we've already touched on a little bit. So Jeff brings up Austin's reward choice for who he took, and the whole Julie being babysat thing comes up. I did think it was funny when Jake was like, yeah, we're the fun babysitters. We gave her ice cream and let her stay up past her bedtime.
Jake and Drew both just they love giving a silly little antidote. They love doing a silly little like quip with Jeff.
Yeah, they do. And then they talk about how they all like each other, but they're also all lying to each other because everyone wants that Millie. And thank you.
Are you familiar with Flo Millie?
Yes, I know that song.
I don't know. I don't know what they do over in your state where you live right now.
The town where I currently am.
Okay. Okay, Miss Moira Rose.
So
the town where I currently am.
So Drew says that he has his alliances. He's crazy. He says that he has his
insane
alliances locked in, and that if he survives the vote tonight, he has a clear vision to the end.
Okay, Drew, get a grip with reality. How are you? You were going to say that out loud, and how were you going to think that you were going to get away with that? This whole episode, Drew was so cocky for no reason. I'm like, there is no reason that you should be this confident or comfortable right now.
No. And he says, like, yeah, the vision to the end is easier to see for some people. It's like, what was it? Like a limbo stick thing. It's higher up for some people, more visibility. For people like Julie, basically, it's really low to the ground at the moment.
He
Excuse
says
you.
this, and then Kelly was like, "That was good." No, it
No, it
wasn't.
wasn't. Don't
That
don't.
don't hype him up. A limbo pole is only this thick, and I can see through it whether I'm going under or above it. It's the same either way. So it's a stupid metaphor. I don't know why they hyped Drew up. It was bad. Kelly and Caleb on the jury were like, "That was a good one." No, it wasn't. Also, side note, I want Kelly and Caleb to kiss,
Oh yeah. Well,
and then I want him to give me a little smooch too.
yeah. Doesn't Kelly have a fiance?
Oh, and she might be gay too.
No, she is. It's
Like
not
lesbian,
Mike.
bisexual.
I don't know. I haven't asked her.
I'll do some researching real quick.
Okay. So, Jake talks about strategy. Yeah, he has a really great strategy, guys. I don't even know what it is. And final three talks briefly come up. Did you learn?
Yeah. No, I can't find her Instagram, and I'm not gonna. I think she is lesbian. I'm gonna assume.
Wow, that's kind of messed up.
I'm gay. I'm allowed to do that.
Okay. So next up, they vote, and Austin decides to play his amulet on himself. Boring.
Yeah, they tried to edit it. They tried to make it like, oh, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna play it on Drew? Is he gonna play it on himself? Did Dee spill the beans? Of course she didn't spill the beans.
Yeah, I could have told you that. So then Jeff reads the votes. 4 votes Drew, 2 votes Julie. Bye Drew.
They were gagged. Austin and Drew were gagged.
Drew was mad. Austin was defeated.
They were both. It was crazy. They did not see it coming. It was a good blindside.
Yeah. I don't know if it was like a good blindside or if they're just oblivious. In
Yeah,
their
you're
heads.
right. I think there is. It's mostly oblivion. Obliviousness.
No, I think
Oblivion.
they're oblivious.
Okay.
Then Jeff says, "You guys aren't going back to camp. You're going to a new camp and you're going to start over. 26 more days." No.
Imagine.
In the end, R.I.P. Reba 4. And I kind of feel like, what do you think Austin's position is right now, especially without Drew? Because clearly he now has no number one. His number one ally is not, he is not his number one ally's number one ally, if that makes sense.
I could see. I don't know. I don't know how. I think it'll really depend on the aftermath, like whether Austin feels fully betrayed by Dee or not. Because I could see a world where I feels like he only has Dee now, and he has to just ride with Dee to the end. Or 2, he feels completely betrayed by Dee and hops ship, throws Dee and Julie under the bus, and says the two of them have been working together this whole time, and makes a 3 with Katora and Jake.
If I hope, I hope that he rallies with Katura and Jake, because I don't think at this point he can feel bad about it.
I don't think he can either. I think that was broken.
By her.
And he could cut by her, and he can kind of just do what he needs to do now.
Yeah. Because before he definitely felt like a personal, he just felt bad. He felt bad betraying his ally. But yeah, she did it to him. So go off. It's your time, Austin. Make moves, please.
Please, Austin, make a move by yourself. How do you rank the... Okay. Should we do like a personal ranking of the final five, or like a winning ranking of like how do you like actual legitimate chances of winning?
Mm, like who we want to win versus who we think is
Who
going to win.
yeah, who you want to win versus who you think is going to win.
Okay. That's tough for me.
I can go first.
You can go first.
I think for me at this point, who I would like to win might be controversial, might be cray, but I've really loved Julie's this end season portion of Julie's story arc. I think she has a crazy narrative, and I think it would be amazing. Like I think getting her at the end to be able to talk, reveal that she's a lawyer. I feel like people might be mad at her, but I don't know. I would love to see her win. I would say Julie. Also think it's far-fetched with Katura. I've been enjoying Katura all season. That was my preseason winner pick. I would just love to see her pull it out. Probably, so personal favorite, Julie, Katura, Jake, D, Austin. And then
you want Austin win the least?
Yeah. Okay, so
no,
I should preface that with I am going into this final five really, whoever wins, I think I'll be happy. Yeah. I really don't. Okay. I'll say that. My actual vision, who I think is gonna win, I think it goes.
If I see into the future.
I think the actual probability of people winning, it's gonna go D, Austin, Jake, Julie, Katura.
Whoa. You think you think Jake would win over Julie?
I think historically in the past of Survivor, people don't like when the moms are liars. They don't like when the moms are backstabby. They don't like when they don't like when moms aren't moms.
Has Julie lied that much?
We've heard a lot from Julie that she feels like she has voted people out and they've left upset with her. Specifically like Caleb, Kelly, and Kendra. She was like, those hurt. And those are the people who were on the jury early. The people who are on the jury the longest are going to have the most say and sway in what the whole jury thinks. And so if those people are mad at Julie and they're going into the jury being like, Julie is just like a follower, she's just like, she's lying to people, blah, blah, blah. I could see a world where people are upset with her, but I could also see a world where people are able to like, she's able to talk herself out of it.
Yeah.
And I think Jake's underdog storyline trumps Julie's like survival storyline.
That's crazy to me. In my opinion.
But she is in my opinion, which I just gave, I would love her to win. She is my favorite to win. If she won, it would.
I just logistically don't see how. Like, the only reason Jake would come out on top of Julie is if Julie just didn't make the final three. Which is possible. And I don't
think she's going to.
Wow. I'm surprised they're gunning for D.
I think D is to me, in my Edgic, like the editing point of view,
the winner.
Like the strategy point of view, I think it's D's game to lose at this point.
I agree. Okay, I'll get into mine. First of all,
okay.
If Jake makes it to the end, he's such a Romeo.
Not Romeo.
He's so much like Romeo. It's so funny to me. Okay. What I predict is. So you think it's gonna be Austin, D, and Jake in the final three?
No, I don't. I didn't make that list based on who I thought was going to be in the final three. I don't know.
But you said Jake was out there over Julie.
But I don't know if D. I don't know if D and Austin are going to get there together. I think the final three, honestly, if it's a final three where it's D and Austin, I feel like Katora's there over Jake.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I don't feel like
Yeah.
Katora has any winning. And that pains me to say, I love Katora. I don't see a world where Katora is going to win.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
No,
my
I
number
agree.
two. If she does win, I'll be so happy.
Yeah. Okay. What I think is going to happen is I think Dee will win. I think she will go to the end with Julie. And Katura.
I could see a girls thing too.
I
I
don't
could
I
see
don't
a
know if it's intentionally going to be a girls
no.
thing.
I don't think it'll essentially be a girls thing, but I could see it. I could see a final three being the girls. Um, I feel okay. Who do you think? Our friends over at Row has a podcast. I think they'll talk through this sometimes. Who do you think is going to go home fifth? I feel like it's going to either be Austin or D winning the immunity. Like I don't think
Mhm.
Katora, Julie, and Jake have not really been performing. Like Julie at the beginning, I guess it just depends what type of challenge it is. But I feel like it's either going to be Jake or D. Not Jake, sorry,
I can
Austin or D.
I can also see it end with Jake though and Katura
Like
going
winning.
home. Yeah, and like making fire like Austin and Julie if they
Mm.
do that. Which
Like
they might not.
Katora goes home at 5. Jake wins the final immunity challenge and takes D.
No.
Oh,
I don't know. Sorry, it was
I
just my
think
vision.
no. Yeah, 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 yeah.
No,
No,
like
yeah.
maybe Julie wins
Like
and she
okay,
takes and it ends up she has
she takes D or something.
or maybe no, D wins and she makes okay, yes. D wins, she makes Austin and Julie do fire because then she
That
doesn't
would
vote
be
either of them out.
that would be crazy.
That's what I want to happen.
So Katora goes home at final
I don't
5.
really care about those two if I'm being honest.
Katora goes home at final 5 because Jake is gonna play his idol, right? So
Oh
Katora goes
yes.
home. Then it's Jake and the Reba 3, and
Yeah.
then D wins final immunity, takes Jake,
Yes.
and makes the two of them Austin and Julie.
Yes. Yes.
And then I have a feeling, I just feel like Julie would win that. No, because usually, you know what has happened in the past is usually it's the over the top person who makes it to final fire making that they always lose. It's the over the top people
Carson.
that you Carson, Rick Devens, I can't think of any other people at the top of my head, but that's who I'm. Yeah, Julie's gonna Janet. Oh no, Janet didn't make it to fire making. I'm just naming people now. Anyway, I
And I
that
think D has a good argument too
mhm.
because there are two people that she's been the closest with. And if Julie gets mad about it, she can be like, "I literally saved you
Yeah,
and I turned on Austin. I put
and
you on top. I kept you in this game. It's up to you now."
yeah, and she could even say the same thing for Austin because
Yeah.
Julie wanted to go after Austin, and she was like, "We need to go after Drew." Julie or D could literally just be like, "Austin, like you would not be here without me. I
Julie,
want
you wouldn't. Yeah.
exactly."
Yeah.
So I feel like it's D's game to lose. I feel like at this point, um, which is kind of I don't know, but any of the final 5 could win, and I'd be chill. Like I literally would. I don't care. This isn't like a
It doesn't affect me
Gabler or like
personally.
a. It really doesn't, and I'm just like I'll be fine. I'll be happy with whoever wins. I think this is. We'll talk about it. I'm sure we'll talk about it next episode in our recap episode. But this has been a great season. I've been really enjoying it, and I think I'll be happy with whoever wins now that Drew's out.
I think choose out. I think, in my opinion, if Katura or Jake won, I would be not mad at them, obviously, because I don't care. I would be annoyed with the editing because I haven't seen them do anything that's like win-worthy building their resume besides they just keep like making it. And I
Yeah.
also think they're just not big enough targets to want to get out.
Yeah.
So I would be upset at production if either of those two won. Because then we clearly weren't seeing the story that unfolded. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. It's always yeah, especially Katora. Like if Katora would end up winning, I'm like we really got nothing from her from the first half of the season.
And she's fun now, but she's
She
not
is.
necessarily making moves now.
Yeah, but I think that's just due to her positioning, like where
Yeah.
she's ended up in the tribe. But
Yeah. I
um,
agree. I would love to
yeah,
see her back.
Katora,
Yeah.
I agree.
Jake too.
Slay. It's a good. This is a good cast,
Yeah, I like them. I like this group.
and it was people at multiple stages. I'm like, Caleb and Emily were pre-merge, so we can talk about this. We'll talk about it in our
And our
pre
recap
in our recap
2 weeks
episode.
from now.
Slay.
Yeah. Well, that is the end. Next episode is the finale.
Gag.
It's going to be a
Gag
long
the
episode
girls.
from us, probably.
Probably, but you guys will eat it up. Y'all will tune in and you'll eat it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, on that note, be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Making Fire Pod. I cannot believe this season's about to wrap up.
We literally just did a full podcast for a full season of Survivor.
I know, that's kind of crazy.
It is kind of crazy. Also, like, I can't. Where did the last 15 weeks, 14 weeks just go?
I know. I was thinking about that when we sat down to record today. I was like, oh my God, I haven't talked to Riley in so long. It's only been a week.
Yeah. Gag.
Time's weird. I cannot
Time
wait.
goes by when you're having fun.
Also, we can talk about this another time, but I am excited. I love when they can like all finally talk about each other on social media and like follow each other.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
seeing that, so I'm really
My
excited.
favorite after, and I hate the structuring of the reunion and whatever in the postseason in this new era, but I eat up the finale comes out and we get all the pictures from like during the whole season or like post filming.
year.
They were the last year from when they were all hanging out and all their like because they be hanging out, they be doing stuff with the other survivors, they be doing all the it's so fun and I love seeing it after.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. We'll eat it up.
Yeah, I'm excited. So that is a wrap. Be sure to tune in next week for the finale. And goodbye.
I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Bye.
Smooches.